What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday morning here from very cold northern New Jersey. It's Ben and Dillon here, the co-founders of PeakBot and the co-host of Man and Machine here. Episode 189, getting close to 200. Gonna have to do something. We still don't know. No, I guess it will land on a Friday because we get our odd numbers here on the Monday, even numbers on Friday. So it'll be, at least it'll be a Friday mood for our 200th episode when we have to do something ridiculous. And Doug actually already told us we have to have a dance party, right?
Dance party. We got to invite Thomas on for that.
I think Thomas has to come on. Never mind. All right. Well, we got a great show today. Let's get into it. First of all, we need some tunes. I'm going to see what we got. We know we're limited on the tunage. We tried to get away with some free music. It turned out not to be free. So if you were tuning in to some of our episodes and there was no audio, or was it taken down completely?
It was taken down completely. The whole video was taken down.
Oh, okay. So if you missed us, hey, K-Shep, is this a new consistent viewer we're getting on YouTube?
Maybe. It's fun. I love when there's viewers on YouTube because everybody watches us on X, and then the viewers on YouTube see like 2 other people watching. We promise that there's more people watching.
Yeah, and we feel like we have to say it every time too.
It's an insecurity of ours.
Totally an insecurity. Good news is we have some things to be secure about on the inverse, and that's our automated strategies that have been crushing it, which we'll talk about today. Our partners have been crushing it. Ben, I want to pull up that tweet from our Lissa with her first week of trades and her profit. Love that. So we can talk about that. That's a copy trading partnership exclusive to Tradier. So that much more. Kyle. Don't want to expose him.
Oh no, you just said his name out loud.
Yeah, well, I mean I didn't say his last name.
Yeah.
It could Doug has always been holding down the YouTube, that's for sure.
He for sure has. We should also show the trendy video of him in his Tesla.
Yes. Let's definitely do that. No, I'm serious. Come on, let's have a little smorgasbord of partners having success with PeakBot today. I don't mind.
Yeah.
All right, so that we'll have Trader Trivia. Yes? No, that's Fridays.
No, that's Fridays. We've got Stocks in Real Life. We've got the Bot Shop.
That's right, Bot Shop.
And then, let's just talk about our partners.
All right, so Ben, why don't we, I'm going to change the tunes here a little bit. Why don't we figure out, why don't we answer this question from not Kyle. Will King AI trade today given tomorrow's economic calendar? Ben, if we want, we can just go right into the economic calendar. We recap this on Friday, but do you want to look at it quickly or no?
Usually we end the show with it, but hey,
since it's here, right?
Why not? Let's start it off. Okay. I've got the calendar. Let's pull that up. Let's zoom in a little bit. So what are we looking at today? Not too much going on today. We've got a couple of bill auctions. We've got a Fed speech tomorrow. This is, we've got a bunch of housing, building, NFP data. So here's the thing. NFP has been bad for King Condor. It usually wicks us out. But with King AI, we're not getting stopped out. Therefore, we're going to let King AI trade today going into tomorrow. Even last week when King AI was trading, or was not trading, through FOMC, we would have actually won every single day last week, even though we would have had to trade through FOMC and a bunch of other economic events.
Don't tell people that
tomorrow too. I know. But that's why that strategy is really great, because on really high risk days, the delta selection is usually the 10 delta, so we get pushed further out. And on high expected volatility, those strikes are even further out. So we were looking at like a $150 wide body on the Condor, where your strikes are $75 away.
Yep.
So that's going to be trading. So King AI is going to be trading today into tomorrow, and then going into Wednesday. And feel free to shut the bot off on your own. All good there.
Yep.
And then, but King Condor will be off. Wednesday, A lot of data, not actual data in my opinion. Got a 20-year bond auction. Max's bots will be off. Thursday we have CPI. So King Condor will be off again most of the week. King AI will be on this week. I think we don't have another bond auction worth mentioning. We've got Friday, we've got Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report, and then nothing else really. I'm not as scared of the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report anymore.
The MCSP?
Some may call it that.
Well, if you think about how much time in seconds me and you or the whole PeakBot team have spent just saying the words Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report, it's a devastating amount of time,
Yeah.
So yeah, the MCSP. I know you're not as scared, but that's what scares me, truthfully. You know what I mean? As soon as you put your guard down, Ben, that's when they come and get you.
That's true. And hey, good point, Dillon. I know you typed this in. King AI will trade today unless there's a VIX parameter that's not met. We're actually going to talk about VIX a little bit in the bot shop today. And then, yes, there's definitely probability, a chance that King AI will not trade today based on VIX. So we could get there. We could get there.
You were both trying to click that off at the same time.
At the same time. All right. Should we get into stocks in real life?
Let's do it, man. Let's put together some crazy trade idea that's not financial advice.
All right, cool. Today, stocks in real life, we've got Spotify. Music for everyone. Now, this time of year, Spotify, I don't use Spotify. My wife does. But this time of year is cool because they put together your listening hours for the entire year, and they show you like how big of a fan of a certain artist you are, how many hours you listen to them, all that fun stuff. So Dillon,
Spotify Wrapped.
That's what it's called, right? Spotify Wrapped.
Great marketing, right? Because it's like a present at the end of the year. It's a wrap up of your music. I also don't use Spotify. I'm one of 17 people on the planet who pay for Pandora Premium. I've used that joke. I've used that joke for 10 years, and I still think there's only 17 people on it.
Well, listen, I'm one of 3 people that uses Pandora and doesn't pay for it.
Which is terrible. Now, the only thing worse than free Pandora, truthfully, is free Spotify. I mean, free Spotify, it might as well be the radio. It is so bad with ads.
A lot of commercials.
Dude, 3 or 4 in a row. That's wrong. That's wrong. You're like trying to go on a walk or a run or do a workout. And by the way, did you see I'm 31 years old and I start my thought of working out with just walking now? That's the goal. Let's just walk. Anyway, did you see what Spotify did this year with their Wrapped? Pretty interesting.
No, I didn't.
Okay. So I got jealous of this because I wanted to know what my age was. Based on the music you listen to and the release date of that music, they have their algorithm determine what the average age of the person would be who's listening to that music.
Oh, that's cool.
Based on the trends. So, our friends are, 68 years old or 45 years old. A lot of my friends were aged older because they listened to a lot of the classic rock and everything else. You'd probably be somewhere in the middle, I'd say. I bet you're late.
I'm a big 90s guy.
Yeah. So you're your mid-late 40s probably.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so pretty cool. And Pandora tries to keep up with it. It's just bad.
No,
it's just bad. It doesn't make sense. The statistics aren't anything I want to share with anybody. Spotify nailed that. So let's talk about the stock, and we can pull up the chart here. Me or you, I don't care. I've definitely traded Spotify before. When and where? In my Tradier account on our old bot, Trend Spread, which was a fully directional weekly credit spread strategy that based on the trend of the stock, large macro trend, based on like the 3-month EMA, it would take a position, a credit spread in that direction for that week. So Ben, you got the chart up here. I'll lower the music just a little bit. I'm sure you've traded Spotify as well somewhere along the line with trend spread. But speaking of trends,
it looks like we're in a pretty bearish trend here for several months at this point. We've been in this trend for 3 months after a short bullish trend. So we reversed there. Hit a top around here. coming back down now. Now it looks like we're at the top of this channel. How are we going to look going into the new year? We're going to have earnings. It looks like, where were earnings last year in February? So we'll see how earnings does. Last year's annual earnings bumped the stock price up. I mean, overall, when we zoom out, look at the bigger picture over the last couple of years, this is really the longest pullback that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
This 3 months. So, hey, that's got to have you thinking like, all right, when is this pullback going to break? Right? When are we going to break this trend? When are we going to reverse and start heading back up into the right? Or will we head up into the right? I'd like to think Spotify is going to be around. I mean, they're spending tons of money acquiring IP.
Yeah, a lot of the major podcasts, which is like we're in the podcast, era, right? Like we are here for the birth of podcasts, and a lot of it's happening on Spotify exclusively, a lot of them, but that's hard for them to sign anymore. But anyway, Ben, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, all right, well, if we're thinking about a trade idea, short term, zoom into that trend line you've drawn. I like a short-term bearish credit spread, like expiring Friday, below, a call credit spread below, I don't know.
If we're looking at Friday, that's going to put us right around this line here. So really, it's like the 610 strike if we're staying within this channel.
All right, so I got the chain up here. I'm going to look at a sold call credit spread. I'm just going to see what kind of credit's available. If I'm selling the 610 and I'm buying the 612, or I'm sorry. I'm buying the 612.50. So $250. I'm going to send this to the ticket. That's a $47 credit. Now it's a super wide quote because, the market's not open and this data is kind of wild. So Ben, like the debit bid is $1.30, credit mid is 47, and then the credit ask is 225. So like hard for us to do anything with that right now.
Tough
but
to tell.
Maybe it would be helpful. I love the new analysis tool on Tradier as well.
You want to show it off?
Yeah, sure. So let me pull this up. All right, so we have here. So this is the order, by the way. Let's just make this a little bit bigger. All right. So this was Spotify, sold the 610, bought the 612.5, 600. Yeah, you know what I mean. So $250 at risk minus the credit collected. I'd like to think that could make maybe $50 when we see what this could really do. This was the analysis tool that I was referring to. It's really nice to get a visual of where your max profit is, where your max loss is, what needs to happen in order to get there. As you can see it on the chart here live, as you scroll through this, you can get an understanding of what your P&L is going to be. So very cool. Very cool. Ben, were you thinking something longer that you wanted to, what are you thinking here?
No, I would personally want to stick with a short-term play here, especially if we maybe kick this downward trend and jump back up. I would, if somebody told me I had to trade Spotify this week, I would probably sell the 610 call. I do think we could probably get more than 50 cents for that at the open. So pre-market, we closed Friday at 598.02. And pre-market we're at 607 cents, so we're up $2, so we're a little bit closer to that $10 strike.
Okay. If I was to put a price out there, what would you want to put a price out? What credit for?
Man, I'd like to see like 75 cents.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's on a 250 spread.
Yeah. Let's put it
even then, maybe like 85 cents. So we've got a 1 to 3 risk reward.
All right, I'm gonna put an 85-cent ask out there, and if it gets filled, great, and if not, that's okay too.
Yeah, it's funny. We put these orders in on this show, and then I forget about them, and then they don't fill.
So the one that I had, Phil, last time was that Visa Iron Condor,
Oh,
and
how's
I
that
was
doing?
clearing out. I cleared out my positions. I was liquefying a little bit, and I ended up closing it for $50 in credit. It was like nothing crazy, but I think I was only ever really shooting for it was like 150. So like it wasn't at full profit, but I just
Yeah.
took.
You left money on the table, but you took risk off the table.
Exactly right. Okay, so hey, my order's out there for 85 cents on Spotify, expiring Friday. Not financial advice. I got a $2.50 call credit spread. Sold the 610, bought the 612.50. We'll see if it fills. Cool. All right.
I thought this was a funny comment.
Spotify. How else can you, as a musician, get paid $3 million?
No, $3 for a million
streams. Ouch.
How much is that? How much they actually get paid, or is that
If that's true,
is that a
that's
hyperbole? I'm gonna look it up.
You know what? You'd like to think that. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's tough because you'd like to think that they're making their money on their ads, on their ad deals, but not all of them have ad deals.
Does rebelmusics.com with a Z sound like a credible source?
Maybe. I don't think so.
How much do artists make? For independent artists averaging between 8,000 and 80,000, that's a wide range. 24 to 400 per month.
All right, Casa, I'm sorry, I keep quoting this guy.
Wow, the platform.
Chef 39.
30 revenue split.
He says he was exaggerating. There was another.
All right, so a million streams generates about 3,000 to 5,000 in royalties.
Look at Doug's comment here, Ben. There was another joke about how they're getting rid of the penny, and so now how will Spotify pay people? I like that K Shep and Doug are dialed in here.
It's sad, how tough it is to make it as an artist.
Yeah, I guess there's so many ways to do it now, and that's a good thing and I guess a bad thing. But
so look at this: 100 million streams, artists can earn approximately 300 to 500,000. That's crazy to think.
I mean, that's a lot of streams.
That's a lot of streams, and that's a lot. A lot of people would be more than happy with that amount of money, but that's not a lot of money for 100 million streams.
But again, at that point, it's like saying, you pay the waiter or the waitress, their base salary is low because they're earning tips. They know that you're making money at that many views elsewhere. Why do they need to pay you? They're giving you the platform.
So if you're an aspiring artist and you need to get paid, looks like you should go to Tidal.
All right, Tidal. Publicly traded? Never heard of it.
Isn't that Jay-Z's company?
Is it?
Part of, or maybe Dr. Dre. It's part of Beats or something.
Yep. Oh, look at this. Artists used to do live shows to promote their albums. Now they put out albums to promote their live shows. Doug's getting philosophizer on us today. How about that?
All right. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
So we got a trade in on Spotify. It was a 610 strike call credit spread, $2.50 wide, shooting for how much credit?
85.
85 credit. We'll see if that fills today.
I'll post if it does. Ben, let's learn something, man. Bring us into the bot shop.
Let's move on to the bot shop on screen here. Here we go. King AI. We've been spending the past couple of weeks talking about King AI. We'll be spending the next couple of weeks talking about King AI. Now, King AI was derived from King Condor, and we are talking about a couple of the indicators or parameters that are being used to factor into King AI's decision. Now, what decisions is King AI making is very simple. It's making two decisions. It's A, what strike are we going to sell at? And it's going to do that independently for each side, the call credit spread and the put credit spread of the Iron Condor. And then B, the second decision is, are we going to trade today or not? So we've trained this model based on over 300 data points. This model is updating itself after every trade, so it gets smarter and smarter. It's definitely smarter than anybody on the PeakBot team at this point when it comes to trading this iron condor strategy. So today we'll be talking about a couple more indicators or data points rather that the model is considering. Last week I think we talked about delta, we talked about IV, and we talked about one other one. I don't remember.
That's all right.
Today we are going to talk about moneyness, VIX, and intraday movement. And intraday movement might be the thing that tells us not to trade today, if I had to guess, because I'm looking at futures up on my other screen, and we closed futures, ES futures, on Friday at 68.32, and we're currently at 69.28. So futures are up about 100 points. So I'm glad that King Condor did not trade over the weekend.
Yep. Me too. And King AI.
So moneyness, let's talk about moneyness. This is in the money, out of the money, at the money. You'll see them abbreviated as, ITM, ATM, OTM.
I want that on a shirt. I hate to interrupt you. Moneyness is a funny word, man.
It is a funny word. Yeah.
All right. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
you did.
Yeah.
So this is very closely related to delta, at least how we're going to talk about it, right? And we talked about delta last week. So the closer you are to the money, of course, the higher the credit you're going to get, because there's more risk that that contract is going to expire. In our case, in the money, which would be against us. Your probability of profit, your pop, is going to be lower. You're going to be tighter between your shorts, which just means it's a tighter iron condor body. And we see that with the King Condor that always places at the 20 delta when compared to the King AI iron condor body, which can place anywhere from the 10 to the 30 delta, although we see it making its appearance mainly around the 10 to 15 delta. Of course, as we go further out of the money to that 10 delta, we're going to get lower credit. We're going to get a higher probability of profit. We're going to get a wider landing zone, a wider body on our condor. And that's just the basic constructs of where we're placing our short strike, right? So very closely aligned with delta, but moneyness, we are always going to be placing these out of the money. We want to stay out of the money on both sides of the condor for both credit spreads. And we're holding that position to the bell. No matter how close price gets to the edges of our condor, we are going to hold the line and not give it. So what does that look like in terms of our equity curve? So break-evens and smoothness here. So when we're closer to the money, we're going to get higher premium. We're also going to more frequently lose, just based on where the strike prices are and where the day ends up finishing. So we're going to get a bit of a choppier curve. Now, as we move further out of the money, we're going to win more. We're going to get less credit. So it's going to be a smoother curve. But when we hit those speed bumps, when we lose, that curve is going to take a fairly big drop down. And that's kind of how the King AI trades have been going, right? Like when we lose, I'm not going to lie, it hurts. But you stack those wins together. The idea, of course, is you keep stacking on more wins than you do with a loss. And that tends to smooth out the curve other than those drops down when we lose. But our fixed $10 wings keep our max loss capped. Our max loss that we've seen is like $900, maybe a little over $900. Again, not fun.
No.
But it's not like you're going to blow up your entire account trading this strategy. And that's very intentionally designed by PeakBot. We never want to put a bot out there that's going to blow up anybody's account. Defined risk. So your win probability, the further out of the money you get, the higher the chances that both spreads will expire worthless. So that iron condor will expire worthless, which is a win in our case. Of course, the closer you get, the higher the probability is that we are going to lose. So that's moneyness. Let's talk about VIX. So we've got different levels of VIX regimes. We've got high volatility, we've got low volatility, we have mid volatility. What we're classifying as mid volatility for this particular strategy is anywhere really between VIX being at $12 and $30. That provides us with enough movement in the market to get a decent credit without taking on too much risk. If VIX is too low, the credit is too low. We don't really want to take that trade. If we're not getting at least $100 in credit, that's even low, but it happens sometimes. We're not getting at least $100 in credit. I personally don't want to take the trade. High VIX, let's say we're above 30. We are going to get a lot of credit. We're going to get a bunch of credit, but we have no idea how much the market's going to move, right? It's just a higher risk environment. Risk reward doesn't always seem to be worth it in a high IV regime. Overnight VIX. So this strategy will block days with rising fear going into the next day. That typically happens when the market drops overnight. VIX will increase. With that increase, that comes an additional layer of uncertainty. Therefore, uncertainty is not an environment that we want to trade this strategy in, because we could lose in either direction on an iron condor. So we want to be fairly confident about the market. We don't want to be whipsawing in either direction. Let's see what else to cover in overnight VIX. Yes, I mean, typically we'll look for a VIX bump up of about 40 to 50 cents or greater. And if that's the case, we're just going to sit out on a new entry for the day. We also talked about the regimes, high IV, mid IV, low IV. So I think that pretty much covers it for VIX. We did cover implied volatility last week, which again, closely related to VIX, but VIX is looking at the market as a whole. So let's move on and cover the last topic here, intraday movement. Now, this one is interesting because we don't have hard numbers set in place like we do for VIX. Like VIX, $12, $30. We want to see VIX between that. Overnight gaps, we have a dollar metric that we use for that as well. The intraday movement is really left up to machine learning. So we do enter in the afternoon, and we take into consideration price movement throughout the day. Now, the reason why King AI did not enter on Friday going into today is because the market was down 1% through all of Friday. Now, that's why I'm thinking the model is probably going to decide to not trade today if we keep moving up today, because we will be, I'm guessing, up over 1% today. And then let's see, Doug, I just saw that all these three bullets are related. If the movement is high, yes, yep, exactly. And these are all data points that the model is looking at, mainly a lot of this for confirmation, and to see if there's any slight nuance between data points that could potentially give us an edge. And I'd like to believe that with the amount of data fed through this, even the smallest discrepancies can be found by our models, and smarter decisions can be made off of that. So intraday movement, trend day versus a range day, we like those range days. That is the ideal outcome. We want price to stay between our strike prices, of course. Trend days can be okay as long as they're not too trendy, right? We don't want to trend up or down too much. Repeated touches increases gamma risk, so our tails can get long. At that point, they'll get very long as we breach our strike prices, but we, of course, we're holding our strikes through the end of the session, and we're going to let those contracts expire. Magnitude and timing, early AM spike after the hold. It's the fastest way to stress test one of the sides. I mean, we've seen that happen of late. We'll open near a strike. We'll be testing that strike all day. But again, I feel like I'm just repeating myself at this point. We're going to hold. We're going to hold the position. King AI is holding the position, waiting for a reversion to the mean. So in a sense, could you say this is a mean reversion strategy? Maybe, maybe not. But we're counting on that to happen through the day, because we have seen King Condor get wicked out, and maybe not just wicked out, but we've seen price stay in a losing position for King Condor for several hours throughout some days, and then recover by the end of the day to where that Condor would have won if we had just held. So a midday fade back inside can rescue our marginal setups before expiration. Again, that's what we're hoping for, reversion to the mean. And then late AM, early PM breakout, not a lot of time to recover, especially for King Condor, but for King AI, we will hold. We will let the rest of that day play out and get to the finish line. So now we've covered really 6 different data points, which underneath these 6 data points for King AI, there's probably I'd say 5 to 10 sub data points within each of these that the model is considering. So that actually covers a pretty large chunk of what King AI is looking at on a day-to-day basis. Next week, we will get into adjusting deltas. So what are the different delta possibilities that the King AI could come up with, and how could that affect your trade? And maybe we will look at some charts, because I think we can back test different delta scenarios, show different curves, so on and so forth.
All right, so a lot of really good information there on King AI. It's incredibly important, I think, for people to understand. We want to play defense here. We want to let the bot breathe. We want to collect a fair premium. We want to have a decent risk to reward ratio. And as much as the bot can be here for you to determine its confidence level, or if not to trade, there is that final layer of it, Ben, right? Like I try to tell people when they're coming in and getting used to PeakBot, you'd think that you can hand somebody the same strategy, 2 different people the same strategy, and they'd have the same results. It's not necessarily the case, right? Because again, I talk to people every week who are like, yeah, I've had the bot off for 2 weeks. That loss that everybody's hurting about, I didn't have that, right? Because people have an understanding of the bot, the strategy, and listening into things like this really are helpful and impactful to see where the bot can be shaken up. So Ben, really good info. And for those of you who aren't familiar, go to peakbot.com and click on our results for King AI. It's absolutely crushing it. 91% cash on cash return in under 3 months. The bot has made nearly $1,900 per unit, only utilizing 2K. So awesome strategy. Great work, Ben.
What else we got, Dillon?
Boy, truthfully, I was over here on the right-hand side while you were talking, trying to work ChatGPT through a prompt to come out with like a Santa Claus offering like a promotion deal for PeakBot. I was going to try and see if I can get it prompted and up in time for the show. Unfortunately, it's not working. It doesn't want to spit out the image for me. But there's a few other things that I think we can talk about quickly and then get out of here. We are getting a little bit closer to the bell. Let me pull up that tweet from our partner, our Alyssa. For those of you who are not familiar, our Alyssa is educator to trader, former rocket scientist and educator on mathematics.
Worked for NASA.
She's just been incredible in every way as a partner, and she just got started last week. I think she's actually live right now, pre-market for the Seller Zone on Twitter or X. If you go to educator, the number 2, trader, educator to trader. I'm trying to find the info. Okay, here it is. So last week, and we're going to pull this up here. I'll zoom in. All right, pulling this down, pulling this up. So this was our Alyssa's tweet from the 12th at the end of the week. Copy trading is officially launched as of 12/12. She placed 3 credit spreads. This is on SPX, profited $75 per unit, 124 total units copied. And you can see the profits here in total for those copying her accounts on Tuesday and Thursday, and the total for the week. So all that to say, Friday was a good day, $75 win per unit. And off to a great start with Alyssa. For anybody who's seen her results, they're incredible, and we hope that she can keep up the pace. So Alyssa's crushing it. If you have questions on where to find her, we can put the link out here. Why don't we just do that, actually? Put it on the screen. What has it been? Educator to trader.peakbot. No, E2T, right?
E2T.peakbot.com.
That's right. So if you want to try out Alyssa and copy trading her SPX credit spreads, head on over to E2T.peakbot.com. I feel like we've said this a couple times and we haven't lied, but this has probably become like certainly the most recent, most hyped up strategy and subscription here with PeakBot. A lot of people flooding in to trade her SPX trades. So exclusively on Tradier, just so you know. Ben, any other partners worth shouting out? I know we got a couple things in the pipeline, updates to bots, new partner bots coming, some new PeakBot bots coming, but you tell me what we want to tease and what we don't.
Is it worth showing Trendy John's video of him driving in his Tesla talking about his bots or not?
Now that I think we've explained it twice now to the point where like the video is just going to be maybe a little lackluster.
All right, lackluster.
He also got his family in it.
John, yeah, true. John loves taking videos in his Tesla.
Yeah, he does. And we love it too. It proves a very good point of hands-free trading and hands-free driving together.
He'll call me sometimes. He'll be like, dude, my life is just completely automated now. He's like, I don't drive, I don't trade. He's like, soon I'm not going to have to eat. I'm just getting fed.
Just no stopping for gas anymore. Charges up overnight. So yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you need a charge on a road trip, forget it. That's the worst.
That's the one thing I can't get into yet. And also being up here in the cold. I don't want to have no car handles. I know that's trouble for some of these Teslas up in the Northeast.
I didn't even think of that.
No, you can't get them open. They're frozen.
They're frozen shut.
Like maybe they've gotten around this, but
Elon, heat up your handles.
Elon, come on, dude, have something cooking in there. Just too worried about going to Mars. Actually, probably pretty cold on Mars too, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Wait, is Mars further? I don't want to expose myself.
Than the Earth?
Yeah, no, it's the fourth, right?
Yes, number 4.
Yeah, so it's definitely colder. All right, cool. Let's wrap the show before I say anything else stupid. What do you think?
Yeah, let's get it.
Good. We're on the same page. Okay, so a lot of partners. Ben, you know what we need to do, man? For the new year, we got to get our bot shop updated. People got to know.
Yeah, bot shop update coming soon.
Bot shop update coming soon. You'll see all the partners, all the bots, all in one place. Deals galore. All right, and wins around every corner. So thank you so much for tuning in. We will be live again on Friday at noon Eastern for the Automation Station episode 190. And as always, thank you for tuning in. And as always, we'll see you at the peak.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.